Hi, everyone. We're just going to give it about a minute or two to let everyone into the meeting. Yeah, start. We're just going to give it a minute or two. I just see people coming into the room right now. I know a lot of you guys are excited about today's live demo, and I'm so excited to discuss Lexis Plus AI's product. I'm going to be discussing both the extractive AI and generative AI to let you guys both know what the difference is. And I'm going to go through all that with you today. And I'm going to be showing you demo questions and so forth related to family law, okay? So we'll give it about one more minute and we'll get started. Okay, everyone, I think I'm going to get started now. It's about 1:03 and people will still be entering in. So we'll just get started here. My name is Tina Gill and I'm a practice area consultant with LexisNexis Canada. I'm also a lawyer myself and I do practice family law and real estate. And, I started off back in 2015 is when I got called to the bar. And I know how much work it's been doing research and, spending hours and hours drafting memos and so forth. So I'm going to show you guys our new product, Lexis Plus AI. And also I'm going to describe a little bit about what Lexis Plus is itself as well, and how it will actually be effective and help you with your practice, where you can save a lot of time on billable hours and use it towards, non-billable hours and be able to use it towards more billable hours. And if you're looking for more of a family life balance as well, this will really definitely help with that, okay? And also, there are solo practitioners here that are showing up today and small law lawyers, where I know that you and I, like I'm a solo practitioner myself as well. We don't have a lot of time to do everything sometimes, and we're the only ones doing everything from A to Z. That when you use this type of technology, it's going to save you all that time. Okay, so I know you guys can see my screen here. I'm going to jump right into what the agenda is going to be like today. Okay, so I'm going to go through a couple of slides to share some facts, and we'll get right into the show. So part one, we're going to talk about Lexis Plus AI and quick facts, the demonstration of the actual product itself, and then the next steps. So with artificial intelligence, when it comes to this, I think we can all understand and we're all able to talk about in terms of having vocabulary, even to have this conversation here. So I know a lot of people, there's so many type of terms that are out there where there's generative AI and extractive AI, and people don't know the difference and how to also use AI responsibly. So as you can see, I'm sure you're aware of, cases like this that have come up where, when AI first came out, how it was being used and, some, it creating actual hallucinations where some lawyers did rely on it and didn't really do the due diligence that they should have done and so forth. So, I mean, everyone has to be aware of what that is and, not getting yourself tied up into that type of a scenario. I'm actually going to go ahead and explain to you what extractive AI is and generative AI. So extractive AI, it's basically, it helps you find relevant results within existing data. So if you have a document that you've uploaded, you can actually use that, and then the extractive AI will help actually extract the important information out of there to help you see what you're missing and what you can add to your actual document. Generative AI is basically going to create those outputs that you're asking it to create, right? So you can ask questions, you're asking to generate certain type of drafts and so forth. So I'm going to first start off with, so I don't know if a lot of you guys may already be using LexisNexis as it is. And if you're already using our products, you do know that there's a strong extractive AI tools, and LexisNexis has been engaged in exploring machine technology and AI technologies for decades. So I don't know if you guys know this, but over the past 10 years, the company has invested $1 billion into the tech stack to rebuild our product environment so that it would support the offering that we're preparing to bring to the market, to the Canadian market specifically. As you may know or may not know, Lexis Plus AI was actually released in the US. It's been over a year now. and it's been very successful. And it's also been recently released in the UK and Australia, and we're targeting a summer release here now in the Canadian market. So we know that it's been very useful with the US market, and you and I both know that this is what the technology is going to be existing like now within our practice. With Lexis Plus, this is going to basically give you the extractive technology. So I don't know if some of you guys may have had a chance to have a demo of Lexis Plus itself, or you guys already have a subscription to Lexis Plus. But what Lexis Plus is, it is extractive AI. So you can actually ask it a question, and it'll actually extract that answer for you within the information that we have within our system. Okay. And it's also about uploading your document, like as I mentioned, extractive AI. So say you have a factum you created or a brief that you documented, and you upload it into Lexis Plus AI under brief analysis. What it's going to do is it's going to scan through that document and give you recommendations of case law or statutory acts that you may have not had in your document, and basically recommend the ones that it's telling you to add to your document, including the cases and the specific paragraph it's referring to. So it helps you, double check your work, and also you can use it by uploading opposing counsel's briefs and work backwards to see, the case law that they use. Is it actual current case law today? Does it exist today? Is it old case law, and so forth? So that's how our brief analysis looks like. It basically, you upload it, and in a matter of seconds, it'll actually give you that screen as well. Okay, so it basically, once you upload any document though within our system, it does not get saved into our database. So if you were to use the Lexis Plus and brief analysis and you press the back button, you would actually lose everything you had worked on. The only way to save the work that you want to save is by pressing download. And once you download, you can save that information directly onto your desktop and use it the way you want to use it. Okay. Now we're going to talk about Lexis Plus AI, and this is what I think everyone's been all waiting for. And I know you guys all want to see a bit of a demo, but I'm going to quickly kind of go through a breakthrough of what you'll expect to see. So on the actual platform, and I'll show you when I'm doing the actual live demo, you'll see a couple of different tabs at the top here. There's Lexis Answers, there's Generative Drafts, Summarize a Case, and Upload Documents, okay? So anytime you're using Lexis Plus AI, you're going to want to select the tab that is most appropriate to what you want to use it for. So if you want to, ask a question, you're going to select that button. If you're going to want it to generate a draft of some sort, you're going to specifically click on that button itself, okay? So it also has, sorry, one second, accurate summarization. So you can ask it to summarize a case, okay? So you can say, please summarize this case for me. You upload the case, you can copy and paste the link of the case, like the name of it or whatever that you have. You don't have to have a full citation. You can even have just, A versus B, like the actual title that you can think of, and it'll actually take that case and give you a full out summary. I'm sure you as lawyers, we all know that how much work and how much time it takes to read a case. Sometimes it can be very, very long, and this will actually simmer that time down and help you give you straight what the summary is. And I'll show you guys how that looks like. So you can see it'll actually list, this is what the case is, these are the issue, the relevant law, and the analysis and the conclusion of that case. And then you can use that towards what you're working on to see if, it'll actually apply to your case at hand. The other neat part about Lexis Plus AI is that you can actually use it to draft documents as well. So what it's going to do is it's going to help you draft documents. You can ask it to, draft a client email or a correspondence. You can even ask it to draft a legal memo, and it will actually draft based on the query that you enter into the database, right? So it has the ability to generate that drafting, and I'll show you during the demo how that looks like and the outcome that you will actually get to see. And this will actually help you. Say if you're just trying to start something, you have a topic in mind and you want to just help you even with an outline, you can use that as a reference, right? And then you have all the sources that are attached to it that it basically goes and refers to. So I'm going to actually jump right into the demo right now, very quickly. Just give me 1 second here. I'll just have to put this up on a different screen here. And let me know, Erica, I'm sure once I stop sharing here, you'll be able to see my screen. So here is basically how the platform looks like. Okay, you're going to see Lexis Plus AI at the top, assistance right at the top here on the screen. And then everything that's included in Lexis Plus is all on the left-hand side here. So when you click on Lexis Plus AI, you're going to see the tabs that I was mentioning to you earlier. Okay, there's ask a legal question, generate a draft, summarize a case, and upload document, ask questions. So I'm actually going to start off with asking a legal question, and I'm going to show you a question that I have here. I've actually have a couple that I've done. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to upload it here. So I'm asking, what family law orders can you seek in Ontario if a party refuses to provide a required document? So as you can see, while it's generating the response, it's actually going through the whole platform of Lexis Plus and everything we have in our system. So the best thing about our product is that it's not going to go outside of LexisNexis. It's going to be within our platform. It's not going to go onto Google in that sense. So it's just within our platform. So you're not going to get something that you shouldn't be using, basically. So I'm going to let that load up there. And then here, if you actually scroll down here, this is how the response looks like once it's completed. Okay. And then the answer is literally here. I'm going to show you really quickly though, where the answer is here. The sources that it actually used is embedded into the actual answer itself. Okay. And then at the bottom here, it'll actually say content supporting the AI generated response. So this is all the sources it used to generate the response to the question I had asked. And then the other neat part is if you want to click on here, you can right click and open in a new tab, which is the way I like to do it versus opening the new tab, because if I do that, then I have to press backspace, right? So like if I click here, it's going to take me to that source directly. And then I would have to press back to go back to the main page. And then you can do whatever you want with this. So it led me straight to the family law rules. And I can actually even download this document if I want to and save it aside and look at it after. So I can press back to go back to where it was. And then at the bottom here, it also has view related material. So if I click here, it'll actually take you to another section that has all the sources. So cases, in this case, I had 50 cases, legislation as well, and practical guidance of documents that you can use that it actually went through to say this is relevant to your question that you're asking. And it has a specific paragraph that is attached to the document it's referring to or the case law or legislation. And you can actually go ahead and look at that even further. So, I asked it a question about what type of, if a party refuses to require documents, they want some sort of financial documentation that I'm requesting, whether it's notice of assessments, income tax returns, proof of employment, and so forth. I can actually, it led me to a practical guidance of a letter to opposing counsel to preserve and produce documents. So I can actually use this and draft my own letter if I wanted to. And it has a drafting notes that gives you the breakdown of, what that means and what you should enter into the actual correspondence. And it has a breakdown of what financial disclosure is and what's required and so forth. And now what I can do is I can go back, press back here, and I'll go back to the same. It will lead me back to where I asked the question. And within the same question, if I want to go further, I can actually ask it another follow-up question, and I'm able to do it 4 more times. So you can do 5 follow-up questions at a time, okay, within the same box here. Now, say, for example, I want to go back and now I'm going to quickly go back and ask another question. I just had to go create new question, create new conversation, okay? And the question I want to ask is this one here as follows. How is property divided in Ontario following a divorce, and what are the exclusions from the net family property calculation? So I'm going to enter that here. And while I'm doing that, I'm also going to just give you a little bit of a breakdown of why, it's basically gives the limitation of 5 questions at a time to follow up. It's just to keep it, organized and you don't lose anything in translation. And then you can create a new conversation and go from there as well. I'm going to let that load up there. So it's going through, as it's generating the response, it's going through everything that we have once again in our system. And it gave me this output here. So in Ontario, property is divided following a divorce through a process known as equalization. So it gives a full breakdown. It leads me to the sources I'm referring to. And then it describes what net family property calculation is. I can even go, if there's a reporting letter precedent, if I want to use that. Keep going down here. Once again, it leads me to the content supporting the AI generated response, along with view related materials. So the neat thing about this is, as you can see, as I'm asking Lexis Plus AI questions, it's leading me directly to sources that I don't have to go out of my way now to search for these. It's already pulling this up for me and telling me, hey, these are this is the supporting documentation the AI, they use to generate this response, and you can click on each thing here. And then all the view related materials. So instead of you actually having to go out of your way and looking that up and doing the search yourself, it's going to give you everything that's related to the question that you actually asked it. Okay, so this is all relevant information to that. Even case law, it'll have the specific paragraph or breakdown of that as well that you can click on and read further if you like to do that. Now, say for example, I clicked on this case here and it's Marshall versus Marshall. What I want to do is I just want to quickly jump into the summary of a case. So I'm going to go here, create a new conversation, and I'm going to click on summarize a case. Just because I'm working on the matter, I just wanted to summarize Marshall versus Marshall for instead of me reading the whole entire case to see if it'll actually be relevant for me, if it'll actually save me a lot of time and so forth. So I'm gonna let that go ahead and do that. Okay. And I both know, as I mentioned earlier, when it comes to cases, reading through loads and loads of pages, paragraphs of a case, sometimes it takes forever just to read a case. And this will actually save that time and give you all the important information that you want to actually know about the case. So here, for example, telling you the material facts of the case. It's an application for judicial review of negative pre-removal risk assessment. And it has to do, at the bottom, has the issues that I outlined here, the key legal findings, the law that it refers to, and the rationale itself and the procedural outcome. And at the bottom, it actually lists even more citations of cases and statutory acts that it's referring to. Now, if I want to go back, I can actually ask it to summarize another case. For example, I'm going to just ask it to summarize Amanova versus Amano. Let's see if I got that right in terms of the name of the case. And then I'm going to show you guys how to draft documents as well. So there's multiple different types of things you can ask it to draft. You can ask it to draft a clause. Say if you're working on a minister settlement, or you're working on a separation agreement, marriage contract, and the specific clause you want to draft, you can ask it to draft that. You can even ask it to draft a legal memo and even letter or correspondences to opposing counsel. And you can even ask it to draft an argument for you as well too. So say if you're working on a case and there's an argument that you want to go against what the opposing counsel has said, you can ask it to help you draft that as well. So once again, I got a response for this case. It tells me the material facts of the case. And here it's basically the application for the parties to determine the father's support obligations and the mother's portion of special expenses. The father also sought custody of their child and so forth. So I'm going to keep going through this. It tells me what the issues are. It's talking about should the case management judge be replaced, should the custody of the child be formally given to the father. Okay, it proposes Section 7 expenses. And now it talks about the, Section 3 guideline incomes for child support in Section 7 and the key legal findings of this case, the law that was used, and the court rationale, and the procedural outcome of the actual case. So instead of me having to read through that entire case, upload that we've uploaded, I can do that with a summary that can help me basically see if I can actually use like for my client's case at hand. Now I actually wanted to go back to create a new conversation and go to generate a draft. So what I'm going to do here, I actually am going to ask it to generate a legal memo for me based on this question that I have. The Ontario law. And I'll show you a couple more examples as well of drafting a clause for a minister settlement that I'm working on, for example, and it has to do with the parenting time arrangement. I'll show you that as well. So you can be specific. The query, whatever you ask in the query, the response that you get will be specific to your query. So say like if I don't list the names of the parties and so forth, it's not going to make up the name for me. It'll just say, put here the name and so forth. But if I want to make it more specific, I can actually go back and give it more information and more specific facts so that I can actually draft, even further detail of what I wanted to do. So once again, you have to be very specific to what you're asking in your query and to get an actual response. So even if you, for example, said, oh, please draft a legal memo to set up a date for this or whatever, or asking for financial disclosure, I need to be more specific of exactly how many documents I want to ask or what I'm asking, and I can throw it in there, and then it'll actually draft that based on um, that specific question that I'm asking. So as you can see, it's generating the response for me. I'm gonna give it a couple of seconds here. And then I also have here and uploading your documents as well too. So you can actually upload briefs that you may have or factums. And anything you do upload, once again, our system does not save it in anywhere. Anything you're searching, we're not going to be, saving that as well. It's going to basically just be on there as you use it, and then it gets deleted. So you'll basically be able to know that you don't want to worry about what you're asking, and if it's going to be viewed by anybody else. You're not going to be, nobody else is going to be able to see what you're looking at. Okay. Okay, here. So I asked it to draft a legal memo whether one spouse is entitled to share of the other spouse's military pension and divorce under Ontario law. So basically, this is how the legal memo will look like. They'll have the introduction, okay? And this memo addresses whether a spouse is entitled to a share of the other spouse's military pension under divorce under Ontario law. Just scroll down here. It'll list the statement of facts that I basically provided, right? So this is the only information I provided of the facts of my client's case at hand. And then the legal standard rules that apply to this. The analysis is done here as well. Okay. And then the conclusion at the end is stated. So it basically drafts that legal memo for you. And it does say if there's anything else you want to add, or you can actually ask it to ask more information at that bottom there. I wanted to actually show you as well too, because we only have a short amount of time here, that I actually asked it to draft a clause for minutes of settlement on a parenting agreement between a mother and father, wherein the father will have access every other weekend from Friday after school at 3 p.m. to Sunday 7 p.m. drop off. And the week he does not have the weekend, he will have Thursday after school pickup at 3 to 8 p.m. drop off time. So I know we can draft this ourselves, but this can actually save a lot of time when you just want to quickly, here's the information. I just want to draft this clause and I want to add it into my minutes of settlement. So it basically drafted that for me here. It gives a defined terms of what parenting time is. And then there's optional additions you can add into that clause that, it recommended. So you can add any of these extra numbers or paragraphs that you want to add in. And then at the bottom, once again, it tells you the content supporting AI generated response. It shows you exactly what I referred to. And then once again, it has all viewer related material. So once again, all the viewer related material, you click on here, and then it will show you everything that you can click on to use, as your own, like if you want to kind of read further through it. So for example, there's a minutes of settlement, fall mediation. If I were to click on that, once again, it's going to lead me to that page. It's going to give me a draft of download. I can download this PDF if I want to and use this to fill it up myself. But it also shows you a precedent of one that's already there as well. Okay, so you don't have to actually go out of your way to look for it. It's already pulling that out there for you already. Okay, and then here I'm going to show you guys. I had some couple of questions I was doing just so I can show you guys here in the essence of time that we have. Okay, so upload your document. So what you can do is if you go here, you can either upload a file if you wanted to, or you can enter a text, okay? So you can copy and paste the text that you're working on versus actually throwing it in here. So I'm just going to show you how it looks like really quickly if I threw something in here. And what it's going to do is I'm going to say, summarize my upload. So say I got something from opposing counsel and I don't want to read the whole thing right away. I just want to summarize it really quickly to see what it's about, and then I'll read in further detail after. I can actually upload that document here, and it'll actually give me a summary of that document. And then it'll tell me like how many numbers of, it's referring to. So here it gives me an overview of the summary of this document here that I uploaded. Background, the oppressive conduct, the law and analysis, the orders that were requested, and so forth. And here it also tells you here at the bottom, your uploaded files are encrypted and will be deleted at the end of the session. So once again, anything you upload on here does not get saved in the system, okay? It will only be there while you're using it, and that's it. After that, you just would have to retype it again. And then I will just show you. Okay, so I asked another question. What family law orders can you seek in Ontario if a party refuses to provide a required document? And it gave me the answer here. and it refers to the actual rule. And if I wanted to, I could do an affidavit listing the documents, and that's within practical guidance, and it leads me to that section itself. And I can read it further if I want to in detail. Okay, I can download it and so forth. Okay, so this is basically how Lexis Plus AI looks like. It's definitely going to help you save a lot of time when it comes to doing your research, drafting documents, whether you're even drafting a legal correspondence to opposing counsel. So sorry, I didn't get a chance to show you that really quickly. I know we don't have a lot of time, but I'm going to quickly see if I have one here that I typed in that I can show you. Okay, right here. So our client wants to request the financial information as follows: income tax returns for these amounts and so forth. And they basically drafted here and the name of the opposing counsel. I'm writing on behalf of the client's name. I'm specifically requesting these documents here. And the requested financial information relative to the issues in dispute and so forth. So I can make it more specific, and then I can even do a follow-up, this is the party's name. I also want to add in this letter. Also, if you did draft a letter or correspondence, you can actually come here and go to generate a draft, and you can ask it to edit your correspondence. You can type in edit and then cut paste what you worked on, and it'll actually give you an edit of that document as well. So it basically helps you do, double check your work that you're working on as well at the same time. Now I'm just going to go back to my PowerPoint really quickly here and just quickly show you guys the last couple of slides before you jump off. Second here. You can see here that, the statistics on the screen here that, lawyers are saying that this tool helps them save a very significant chunk of their time. And you can see the time that they're using towards other matters or other things that they can use on, and the different areas. So legal drafting, how much work how many amount of hours they're saving. Even legal research, how much time they're actually saving, and even summarizing cases and so forth. And you can also see that, like to justify the spans of adding a tool like this, you consider, working in firms, either whether you're a solo practitioner, a small law firm, mid law firm. This is just going to basically save you a lot of time. And then you can see here on the screen, according to Statistics Canada, if we save that 25% or more time, it depends on the, function of the course, you're making $64 an hour. This is the kind of return on investment that you want to look for. And then one thing to recommend is if you're interested in a demo, you can actually contact us after this is done. But what I would recommend is actually signing up on our legal news hub. And I'll show you exactly where to go for that. Just give me 1 second here. I'm going to just pull this up. And you can sign up, and this way you'll be up to date with everything that's coming up and new with Lexis Plus AI. And all you want to do is go here onto Lexis Plus. Okay, you just have to go to LexisNexis.ca, and then you're going to click on Explore Lexis Plus AI. Once you click here, you can click on Become an Insider, and then once you sign up, you can get all the information. You reach out for a demo, and you just have to list your name and everything here. And then, the other fun factor is that it's July, and we do have our pre-sales up until July the 15th. So it definitely would be great if you took advantage of that based on the pricing, and you get to kind of see how the product works itself. And you got to see that at today's demo based on family law related questions that were at hand. And then if you book a demo, you can book one with myself or any of the other practice area consultants and reps. And we can basically show you how it works in further detail and how it'll actually save you some time. And I want to actually thank you all for attending the demo today. And I really hope that this, presentation was able to show you how Lexis Plus AI will be beneficial for your firm, whether solo, small law, and how it will save you time. You guys will not be disappointed. So once again, you can schedule a demo with myself or any of the other reps that are on your account as well. Okay, thank you so much.